All right, notice we have no vertical stretch, but we do have a horizontal shrink, so our period is now going to be original period, divide by the b value, so now our period's pi over 2, and we have a shift up by 1. So if we have a shift up by 1, that's where our center or our turning points are going to be. Okay. Before, I had asymptotes at every pi over 2. Well, now I'm going to take them, so asymptotes are now at, remember asymptotes correspond to x values because the equations are x equals 2k pi over 2, 2k plus 1 times pi over 2. So asymptotes are now at, we're going to take this value, divide it by 2. So that's like multiplying by a half. And that comes from this 2 here. So that's this 2 here. And this is, of course, x equals pi over 4. So every pi over 4, we're going to put an asymptote. I'm going to make these pi over 4s. Sorry, not just pi over 4s, but I think about my period being pi over 2. So counting a full period, here would be my next one. So every 2 boxes is a pi over 4. So now this distance is going to be 3 pi over 4. So we went over pi over 2. So our period has shrunk. Draw in all your asymptotes is how I would start. We moved up 1, so in the middle, that's going to be where our center point is. So if we call this one 1, we've got 1 here, 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 so on and so forth. Because there's no vertical stretch, I'm going to go over 1, up 1, down 1. 1, up 1, down 1, and so on and so forth. If I want to test out how I'm doing, I can think about putting in one of these values to test it out. So let's think about that over here. I'm going to erase a little bit. And then I'm going to, oops, take that in and test it. So at x equals 0 degrees, so that's this point here, I'm going to have y equals tan of 2 times 0 plus 1. Well, tan of 0, I hope we all know, is 0 plus 1, which is 1. So that checks because we went through the point 0, 1. Let's check this one over here. So every 2 boxes was pi over 4, so that means 1 box is pi over 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5 pi over 8. And my y value, it looks like I've said, is 2. So let's check that. So x equals 5 pi over 8. When I plug that in, tan of 2 times 5 pi over 8 plus 1, that's tan of 5 pi over 4 plus 1. From my unit circle, I know that this is a value of positive 1 plus 1 makes 2. So that leads me to believe that my graph is correct. So try and do the next one and come back and check your answers.